In the dusty corners of old America, there once jingled a small coin that carried a nation's soul within it, the 1916 5-cent piece. Born during a time when carriages rolled beside early automobiles and jazz was just beginning to echo through the streets, this nickel witnessed the changing heartbeat of a young, ambitious country. It was not just a coin, it was a tiny storyteller, whispering tales of courage, struggle, and dreams. The year 1916 was a bridge between the old world and the modern one. Imagine a young schoolboy, his pockets filled with hope, and a single nickel shining pure and full of promise. That small coin could buy him a warm loaf of bread or a handful of candies. He could never have imagined that, a century later, the same nickel, now darkened by time and age, would become a collector's treasure worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The 1916 5-cent coin, better known as a Buffalo nickel, was designed by James Earl Fraser, an artist who wanted to capture the spirit of America in metal. On one side, he sculpted the proud face of a Native American chief, strong, wise, and eternal. On the other, he placed a mighty buffalo, standing tall as if guarding the land. Together, they symbolized strength and heritage, frozen forever in nickel and copper. But the coin's story didn't stay shiny for long. Over the decades, exposure to air, water, and human touch gave birth to what collectors lovingly call the black condition, a coin aged into darkness, its silver glow replaced by a mysterious, smoky hue. For some, this blackened color is not decay, but beauty, the patina of time, the signature of history itself. Every scratch on a 1916 nickel tells a story. Perhaps it was dropped in the corner of an old schoolyard, buried in dirt by playful hands. Maybe it passed through the palms of soldiers, farmers, and teachers, each adding their own chapter to its journey. It has felt the warmth of thousands of hearts and the cold of countless winters. It has lived, breathed, and survived. Collectors today see these coins as more than metal. When they hold a 1916 black nickel under the light, they see history reflecting back, a century of change, war, invention, and hope. The coin may be worn, its edges soft and letters faint, but its soul glows brighter than ever. Like an old photograph, it reminds us how far humanity has come and how much beauty remains in things aged with time. Some 1916 nickels even carry rare mint marks like the D from Denver or S from San Francisco, and those tiny letters can turn a small coin into a fortune. In auctions, such pieces are prized like diamonds, fetching thousands of dollars. But the true value of this coin is not just in money. It's in the magic of touching something that has witnessed more than 100 years of human history. Picture a classroom today, where a teacher places a 1916 black nickel on a desk. The students gather around, their eyes wide with curiosity. She tells them, "This is not just a coin, this is time itself." They listen, imagining the world in 1916. The horses, the factories, the laughter of children, and the scent of fresh ink on newspapers announcing a new century. For you two viewers, this story is not just about an old piece of metal. It's about rediscovering lost beauty. The 1916 black nickel is a symbol of endurance, proof that even when time steals shine, it cannot steal soul. That's what makes it irresistible. Each coin, though small, carries a heartbeat of a forgotten era. So if you ever come across a dark, weathered nickel in your grandfather's box or at a flea market stall, don't dismiss it. Hold it gently. Feel its weight, its silence, its story. You might be holding a treasure that once bought a school lunch, traveled across a battlefield, or jingled in a child's pocket in 1916. The black nickel, aged, rare, and proud, is not just a coin. It is a whisper from history that refuses to fade. In the quiet corners of history, there lies a small coin that holds stories far greater than its size suggests. The 1924 5-cent coin, often overlooked in piggy banks and dusty drawers, is a fascinating relic from the roaring 1920s in the United States. Though tiny in appearance, this coin carries immense historical significance, connecting us to the time of jazz, flappers, and the echoes of post-war America. Imagine a young schoolboy in 1924 holding this very nickel for the first time. To him, it was just a coin to buy candies at the corner store. Little did he know, decades later, that this small piece of metal will become a treasure sought by collectors and enthusiasts around the world. The nickel represents a slice of American life, a witness to changing times, and the rise of modern currency design. The 1924 nickel belongs to classic Buffalo Nickel series, known for its unique design. On one side, it features a profile of a Native American, carved with remarkable detail, symbolizing strength and heritage. On the reverse, a majestic buffalo stands proudly, grazing as the sun sets in the background. Every curve, every line, tells a story of artistry and craftsmanship from nearly a century ago. Collectors often marvel at the subtle differences found in these coins. The 1924 nickel came in limited mintage in certain states, making some versions rarer than others. A coin with perfect edges, a sharp buffalo outline, and no scratches can command an astonishing price in today's market. It is as if time has preserved not just a coin, but a miniature work of art. This coin also carries a whisper of the everyday life of its era. Imagine families in 1924, shopping with nickels and dimes, children saving for small pleasures, and merchants exchanging goods for these shining pieces of metal. Each transaction added a new layer to the coin's journey. And today, owning one is like holding a key to the past. Interestingly, the 1924 nickel also has stories of errors and unique variations that make it even more desirable. A slight misprint or unusual mint mark can transform an ordinary coin into a priceless collector's gem. Coin experts often spend years searching for these rare anomalies, and when one appears in auction, the excitement is palpable. For many, the allure of the 1924 nickel is not just financial but emotional. It is a connection to history, to a time when life moved slower, yet coins like these were everywhere. They remind us of the elegance of simplicity, the joy of saving, and the thrill of discovery. One can almost imagine the coin whispering stories from decades past. Today, owning a 1924 5-cent coin is more than a hobby. It is a way to preserve a piece of history, whether displayed in a collection, carefully stored in a vault, or admired under a magnifying glass. This tiny coin evokes awe. It teaches patience, the value of preservation, and the magic hidden in everyday objects. For YouTube viewers, this coin is a perfect story. Small in size but enormous in value, both monetarily and historically. Each coin is a lesson in history, art, and culture. From classrooms to collectors' tables, the 1924 nickel captivates hearts and minds alike. So, the next time you come across an old nickel lying forgotten in a drawer, remember, it might not just be a coin. It could be a gateway to the past, a treasure waiting to be discovered, and perhaps even the key to changing your fortune. The 1924 5-cent coin is proof that sometimes the smallest objects hold the greatest stories.